$10 Tuesdays at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, where you can get the hottest handicappers, best bet, or daily package for only $2.
Welcome in, guys, to WagerTalk TV. You're watching Puck Time. I'm Andrew McInnis. I have Carmine Bianco back with me in the co-host chair and Mr. Don Buster in his usual Tuesday spot. Guys, it is a loaded show today, and I don't always say that, but today we've got some unbelievable games to discuss. We've got the Rangers and the Penguins, the Maple Leafs and the Bruins, the Flames and the Avalanche, and, of course, the Hurricanes and the Lightning. I don't think we could have handpicked 4 better games than we have tonight to break down. Best bets at the end, of course, coming off a 2-0 sweep yesterday with the best bets. And hats off to Brian Leonard with a perfect first period plus money play there on the Seattle Kraken. Really looking forward to today's show. Lots of different things to bring up. Looking forward to bringing back Carmine into the show. Before we do that, though, I do want to show you guys a few pictures we do have up. We are launching our website tonight. It is shoppucktime.com. We've got coffee mugs. We've got phone cases. We've got hoodies, T-shirts. I've added more last night with the new Puck Time logo. We are very excited about it. That'll be live and officially launched at 7 p.m. Eastern tonight. Before puck drop, you can go to that website, grab a phone case, grab a coffee mug, grab a hoodie. You can get that at 7 p.m. Eastern tonight. So I'm pumped about that. If you guys support the show, if you guys watch us and saw all the nice swag we had over last weekend in Vegas, well, you can grab a shirt and support the show at shoppucktime.com. Carm, I want to bring you back, man. First of all, before I do, obviously, it was a Puck Time event at first, but you did an unbelievable job organizing the Vegas trip. We haven't had you on Puck Time since I saw you in Vegas, and it was great to see you. We didn't really talk as much as I would have liked to hope, but there was just so many people and so much to do. But hats off to you for organizing a great event, and it was great to get everybody together. So welcome back, Carm. It's great to see you, man.
Thanks, man. It's good to be back. As you can, you'll tell throughout the show, I'm just starting to get my voice back. I had to take some days off with all the people I saw there and the event itself, and then the days prior to it. I met a lot of people, a lot of our clients and fans, and I talked to everybody, and I just go on and on and on, kind of like I'm doing right now. And I strained my vocal cords. I lost my voice for the last 3 days of the trip. I see Tokyo Brandon's in our chat. He came to town for the last couple of days. I took 6 people to the Vegas Golden Knights game. I'm 2-0 on that trip, attending Vegas Knights games. Maybe they want to make me a season ticket holder, but I feel bad for Brandon because I didn't get a long chance to talk to him. I couldn't talk. But such a fantastic event. Now that I'm back, I will be today or tomorrow. I'll be hitting the shipping facility here. I'll be getting some Puck Time swag out to the people that won contests and to a couple of the people that I promised stuff to. So I will get that out in the next day or two. I brought some swag back with me, but it was such a fantastic event. We are going to do another one, I believe, in August. If you can make it out and plan an August trip around it, it's going to be such a fun time. Everyone is going to be there. And WagerTalk, when they do something, they do it big. They give out so much free swag, drinks, food. It's such we're a family. We talk about it all the time, but you saw it in those videos that Chris, our clipper, does such a great job of. Everyone's a family there, and we just love working together. So if you can make it out and join us, definitely do so. One guy who I expect to be there in August is today's guest, Don Buster.
Hello, Carmine. Good to see that you're back and talking. I warned you guys ahead of time. Vegas can eat you up. It looks like it took a little bite at you at the end of that trip, Carmine, but I'm glad to see you back on the show, looking healthy and ready to roll, ready to probably disagree on about 4 games today that we've got going. So without further ado, I will let Mr. McInnis take over.
All right, Buster, I appreciate it. Yeah, there's 4 great games. Let's dive right into it and start with the New York Rangers and the Pittsburgh Penguins here. Pittsburgh, they're minus 170 tonight. The Rangers on the road, plus 150 here. Total is at 6. And if we recall, guys, the last time these two teams met, it was not pretty. It was an absolute blowout in favor of the New York Rangers. Looking forward to seeing what happens here in this one, but the score was 5-1 in the last meeting. It was just a short time ago. But Pittsburgh has seemed to bounce back, and they bounced back in a strong way. They won 11-2 against the Detroit Red Wings. And hey, guys, it's only the Red Wings. It's Detroit, but still, 11 goals. That's how you bounce back. That's a very, veteran-built team. Lots of leadership there, very well coached. And you can tell they were ready for that bounce-back game against the Detroit Red Wings. As far as this New York Rangers team, I have to say, guys, I have been a little bit concerned about their defensive play. And some might come to a surprise by that. But I tell you, Igor Shesterkin has been unbelievable this year. And I think that we're starting to realize just how unbelievable he's been. Because when he starts playing, average hockey, the team started giving up goals. Team started losing some games they don't usually lose. But I have to scratch my head a little bit here, Carm, at this minus 170 number here for the Pittsburgh Penguins. I'm going to take them in regulation. I don't like that minus 170. I do think they will get the quote-for-quote rapid revenge over the Rangers, and they're playing at home tonight. I believe they'll show up tonight and get the job done here. I'm on the Penguins in regulation, Carm.
Yeah, this is a tough one. It's feast or famine. It seemed like over the last few days for this Pittsburgh team. They score 1 against the Rangers. They score 11 against Detroit, but it's also quality of opponents. And sometimes games just get away from you. Detroit seems to be a team like that. If they're going to lose, they lose big. I look at the Rangers. The Rangers are playing extremely well. They don't deserve to be the price that they are here. I get it. Pittsburgh's a very good team, but they don't deserve to be the price that they are right now. They've won 6 of their last 8. If you look at those, the 2 losses within those 8 games, and because they're playing extremely well, that loss to the Devils, that was their 5th game in 8 nights. And if you've looked at that angle throughout the year, that is a tough angle for a team playing their 5th in 8 nights. They lose that game. They pulled Shesterkin at the end of the second period in that game. I think after jumping out to a 2-0 lead, I think it was 4 straight goals by the Devils in the second period. They pull them to start the third and go on to lose that game. It was probably a good idea to pull them in that game there because they just weren't playing hockey. They looked flat throughout that game. And then the other one was a game in which I had the New York Islanders against the Rangers in New York. And that was a goaltending duel between Sorokin and Shesterkin, and Sorokin won that one. They won that game 2-1. So you can make an excuse for their 2 losses. They're playing extremely well, and you're giving me plus 140. I get it. It's Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh at home. If it's Shesterkin in goal tonight, if it's Shesterkin versus Yari, which I expect it to be, then I'm taking the plus money with the Rangers here. Again. This only works with Shesterkin in net. If I see Georgiev named as the goalie, I'm completely off that play. So I'm going to sit and wait on that, and then I'll talk about goalies later on because there's another game, while not on our schedule today, a game that I like that I will be on if I get the right goalie matchup. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm going to take the Rangers. You're giving me plus 140 with a very good goalie on the road. For a team that's playing extremely well. Sometimes, and I wish Ralph Michaels, I would have reached out to him. I want to see what a team's record is when they score 10 or more goals the next time out. You just wonder if they've ran out of firepower the next time out. But with that said, I'm going to take the plus 140 here, 145, whatever I can get on the Rangers as a dog, as long as Shesterkin is in goal. Buster?
Well, I would normally try to break the tie and pick one of the sides, but we're going to go with the under here, under 6. I thought it should maybe come up 5.5. I know they're scoring, and you see Pittsburgh scoring 11 goals the other night. So you kind of think, well, how can you play an under? But these guys did play Friday. instant revenge for Pittsburgh. And I agree with Andrew on that, with that instant revenge. But also can't lay 170 with Pittsburgh. That's just not going to happen. So for me, the last 4 in Pittsburgh went under 2-0-2. Like you guys said, probably. Of course, we don't get those starting goaltenders till later in the day sometimes. Shesterkin and Yari will be in net. And you like Yari in net at home. Again, he's really good at home. But then again, the Rangers, they're 6-2 in their last 8. But again, with that instant revenge, to me, this is a really, really tough side to pick here. Although I would, being an underdog player, would probably play the Rangers, but I can make a case for Pittsburgh in regulation because of that. It was an instant revenge, right? They played Friday. Now it's Tuesday. So we'll just leave that whole side alone. You can gather with what I've said about that information to make your own decisions depending on whether you want to bet in regulation Pittsburgh, because you're not going to lay 170. You shouldn't anyways, as they always say here. And or whether you want to take the Rangers at big plus money, which Carmine's doing. But for us, again, I just think with the goaltending, this will be the first game they played was 1-0. This last one was 5-1, and the Rangers jumped to a three-goal lead, just smashed them in the mouth early. I don't know if that's going to happen here in Pittsburgh. So at 6, give us the under 6.
All right, a total play there from Buster. Not too many disagreements then. We don't have to settle that tie. Give a nice total play there from Buster. Our next game, another great one. Like I said, plenty of good games to discuss. The Toronto Maple Leafs head to TD Garden to take on the Boston Bruins. Minus 140 home favorites. Toronto plus 120 on the road. Total 6.5 here in this one. And guys, last time these two teams met, it was early November, and Toronto took that one by a score of 5-1, or 5-2, excuse me. So when I look at this game, it's kind of interesting when you see these division rivals haven't played since early November. I find that very strange. The schedule makers always save these matchups and stuff for the end of the year. Toronto right now, 87 points. Boston, 87 points. These two teams are neck and neck. They're both playing good hockey right now. And I have to tip my hat to the Toronto Maple Leafs. After being upset to Buster and I's Montreal Canadiens, they turn around the next day and put forward a very, very gutsy effort against the Florida Panthers, and they get the win there. Second half of a back-to-back for them. And with Boston, like I said, 8-2, their last 10 games. I believe it's 5 straight wins for them right now. They're playing some good hockey, but the Garden is a hard place. Is a hard place to win in, or the hard place to come in as a road team and play in. But when I look at that last time these two teams played, I didn't really see too much out of the Boston Bruins, but that team was a different team than what they are right now. And that's the thing we all have to realize, is that when I tell people about handicapping, the first thing I always tell them is, don't listen to people that are giving you stats from 1 month ago or 1 year ago. It's got to be, what have you done for me lately? And what the Boston Bruins have done for me lately have proven they're a consistent hockey team right now. I think they're playing better hockey. They're playing more consistent, and they're more reliable. So I think the Boston Bruins at home, albeit it's chalky, Buster, and I know you hate that, I think they're the play. What about you, Buster?
Well, Andrew, I am going to agree with you with the play. I kind of disagree with you when you said about going back with streaks and stuff like that, because I've sat on this show and proved it time and time again, going back years, and a lot of people disagree with me. But I mean, I could ramble off all the games I've gave up on a Tuesday when we have these big discrepancies and teams going into certain venues. But that's a chat for another day. But I am with you on the Bruins. I already gave them out to my clients at minus 130. Leafs haven't been too good on the road lately. Talking about late. Lost the last 3, and I'm glad you mentioned to our let's put it this way. Too bad these guys weren't playing this way all year, because they're showing what they showed last year in the playoffs, a lot of heart. And, they made Toronto look pretty bad on Saturday night. And then Toronto has, to their credit, and I don't give Toronto much credit ever, because you guys all know how I feel about them. And I hear from the guys in DM and all the Leafs fans, and they just, Buster, you're this year, they hate it. So I come on here once every while on Tuesday. So if I get a chance to kick the Leafs, I always will. And then I'll take all the abuse in the chats or on the YouTube channel. And that's fine with me because, grown men can take stuff like that where a lot of people, they might want to shy away from that. But anyways, sorry, I digress here. Let's go back to the Leafs here. Lost their last 3 games on the road. Boston, on the other hand, they are quietly, and not everybody talks about Colorado, everybody talks about Florida, Tampa Bay. They're 7-1 their last 8 games. And this is a play I've been playing a lot with the schedule. We talked about schedules a lot here. The 3rd and 4 games for the Leafs tonight. That's a bad spot. It's even a worse spot when you're playing a team like the Boston Bruins. And I've mentioned bad spots. I mentioned it last couple weeks ago with Vegas going into Winnipeg that I thought there were bad spots and they lost both games. I think this is just a bad spot. I actually thought Boston was going to be a bigger favorite, to tell you the truth. Toronto are 3-9 the last 12 in Boston, right? Like I said, I thought it was going to be a bigger favorite. I really, like I said, gave it out to my clients already with the Bruins, so that's a play that we'll be going with here. I'll just give you on the total. This game, the Leafs are an over club, Bruins are an under club, right? The under is 4-1 the last 5 in Boston, just in case you guys have a little information on that. And to me, on the total here, this could be any type of game, right? It could be, I could see it be a high-scoring game, or it could be a low-scoring game. Swayman is confirmed for Boston. Really like that. No matter if it's a high-scoring or low-scoring, Boston's the winner.
Awesome stuff there, Buster. I just want to clarify too. I agree with you on if a team has struggled historically to play in a certain building or something like that. I agree with you on that. I just meant more so like if a team has played bad 4 months ago and they were in a slump, that might not be the same team today. That's all I meant.
Of course, of course. You see that all the time. Yeah, for sure.
But teams can struggle in different buildings and stuff like that. But Carm, what are your thoughts here? Obviously, like I keep talking about, so many great games today. Another one that's pretty tough to pick here with the Bruins and the Leafs.
Yeah, this isn't going to eventually make my card unless a lot more Boston money comes in. At which point I'll jump on Toronto. But the price right now, you look at the market. The market started low on the Bruins overnight. Push some Bruins money came in once. The Bruins got at that -145, -150 price. The money started to come in on Toronto and evened it out. A little bit of money has since come back on the Bruins, but that rightfully so, because this game probably shouldn't be as high as -140 in my eyes. The Leafs at +120, even in the third of four game spot, offers value here. Listen, this isn't going to be a goaltending duel tonight. These are two teams that are bitter rivals. They don't like each other. I'm telling you right now, they don't like each other. So I expect not playoff hockey tonight. I expect these teams to send each other a message, because they very well could meet in the first round of the playoffs the way this Atlantic is going. If you're watching this, it's a battle between these two. One's at some point, these were teams that normally met in the first round of the playoffs, with the Bruins bouncing the Leafs, it seemed, almost regularly. With that said, I expect to see some goals tonight. It'll likely be Calgary in goal for the Leafs. We know Swayman is confirmed. And in a game, I'm taking the line of, in a game where I expect to see some goals tonight, and I think this one goes over the total, and some money has been coming in on the over, I will normally take the team that has more balanced scoring, and the Leafs have that more so than Boston. Taking the Leafs in Boston isn't normally long-term isn't a winning proposition, but giving me +120 or +125 in this spot, I'm likely going to take it. I think the Leafs win this game in a higher scoring game. This could very well be one of those 5-4 type games. I'm not saying it will be, but I'm saying I'm leaning closer to this being a high scoring game than one of those 2-1 games. I just don't see it in these two teams. I think we see a lot of rough stuff tonight. I think we see some penalties and we see some power plays, and both these teams are very good on the power play. So with that said, I'm leaning both to the Leafs and to the over in this game, Andrew.
Awesome stuff. And you're right about that. Both teams have great power plays. You do not want to put yourself in the penalty box when you're up against the Maple Leafs or you're up against the Boston Bruins. They will make you pay for that. That is for sure. Let's jump into the Carolina Hurricanes and the Tampa Bay Lightning. Another great game here. And I have to congratulate Carm, actually, on cashing a 5% ticket yesterday night on the Carolina Hurricanes on $9 Monday. And hey, those are always nice to cash them in that fashion, Carm. So congratulations to you on that one. Tonight, we have Carolina. They're plus 120 on the road in Tampa Bay. Tampa minus 140 here. Total's at 5.5. And look, guys, when I look at this game, I think to what Brian Leonard said yesterday on WagerTalk today. I hope Brian's listening to the show or checks it out. What he said was pretty much talking about teams like Tampa Bay, back-to-back Stanley Cup champions. It's all about staying healthy, maintaining, good form and stuff like that. Get into the playoffs and then do your thing in there. Obviously, it's a big game. I'm not saying they won't be up for this game. But what I am saying is that I feel like Carolina has more to prove. Tampa Bay's proven what they're capable of doing. Carolina's a great defensive team. And if you take a look at what Tampa Bay has done recently, they've actually turned into a pretty good defensive team. But their scoring has kind of died down just a tiny bit. But I think tonight, with Carolina playing second half of a back-to-back, Tampa Bay off games against the Islanders and the Red Wings, I think over 5.5 is the play here. We got Antti Ranta against Vasilevsky tonight. I feel like we can go over 5.5 into this one, Carm, and that's where I'm going to rock tonight. I think that even though it's two defensive teams, two teams with good goaltenders, I'm going to go over 5.5 here.
Yeah, I don't fault you on that, and thank you. I was pretty happy about that. Carolina, they did exactly what I expected them to do last night in that game. When you expect a team to do it and they actually do it, you feel good about your play. So I'm happy about that. Now, before I talk about this game, I missed my cue at the end of the Toronto and Boston one, which was, I wanted to mention, it's Tuesday. So obviously it's $2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk and Sports Memo. $2 Tuesdays is where you can get a featured cappers play for only $2. These are plays that normally go for $25 and $35. Over at WagerTalk, it's Ralph Michaels with a college basketball play. Ralph's won 6 straight 5% plays. He's going for his 7th straight college basketball 5% winner. So you can get that for only $2 over at WagerTalk, along with some great promos and features. And at Sports Memo, you get 3 cappers for $5. You get Cajun Sports with an NBA total. You get UCapper with an NBA side and Kevin Thomas with an NHL play. You can get those plays separately for $2 or all in one pack for $5. Now, Andrew, when I look at this game, it's interesting. Watching that game last night and those absolutely biased Washington commentators, which were driving me nuts, but it was good because Carolina was up. It's tough watching homers. The broadcasts, but NHL Ice grabs the home team's broadcast one. But anyways, listening to them, they made a good point about Carolina. The Carolina from that game travels to Tampa. You're likely not going to get into the hotel until 2:30, and then it's likely an optional morning skate for this team. They're not going to have a practice in the morning. It'll be optional. But listen, these guys have done it their whole careers. It's not like traveling overnight and playing the next day is something new to them. But to your point of the total, I completely see it. Then you look at Tampa, and this is their 5th and 8th nights. You can look at it. This is also their 3rd and 4 nights. But here's an interesting stat about the Tampa Bay Lightning. In their when they play their 3rd game of a 3-game and 4 nights this season, they are 10-1-1 this season in that 3rd game of their 3 and 4 nights. Their 2 losses to the New York Rangers, one in a shootout and then one a 4-0 loss in New York. So you take the Rangers out of the equation, and they're 10-0 when playing their 3rd in 4 nights. So, but with that said, I like your point of, and I'm going to lean on. I'm not going to take either side here. I'm going to lean with you on the total here. I think we see some goals tonight, even with some good goalies in net. I'm not sure who's confirmed yet for Carolina, but I'm going to guess that with Anderson having played last night and playing extremely well, that we're likely going to see Ranta in goal tonight. So I'm going to look for some goals as well too. Buster?
Well, I'm going to have to disagree with you guys on this, but I will also mention I found out late last night that Carmine, you had that 5%. Congratulations. I also had Carolina as a 5% at Sports Memo, and had that game circled. Yeah, I know you didn't know, Andrew, because it's that Sports Memo. I get it. But anyways, yeah, I had that 5%er, had it circled for 3 weeks. And like I do, I pick up those and ran my streak now. And, might want to go over to Sports Memo and get my 5%ers when I put them out. But I don't know when I'll have the next one because I have a system. And that system's 18-4-1, the last 23 5% plays. So anyways, yes, I did have that last night. So I thought I better just blow my horn too once, you mentioned something there. So anyways, getting into this game, and then now I might disagree with you guys too. So
hey, you already know, Buster. If I knew you had that too, I would have said congratulations to you too. You know that.
You know me, yeah, I know, and you know me. I'm a pretty quiet guy. I don't really say too much, right? I kind of try to keep my mouth shut in certain situations. Which
I had a phone call with Carm last night. That's why I knew. We talked on the phone. You don't call me. You don't call me from Mexico. Carm calls me. That's how I knew.
Hey, be nice to me, or be no Masters golf picks for you this next week. So.
Okay.
Anyways, guys, want to hear this? To the game. I do. Last week, it's like Groundhog Day, guys. Last Tuesday. And it's funny how I come on here every Tuesday, and we end up getting games that were played the past Tuesday. Well, these guys played last Tuesday in Carolina, just different venue. And I had said that I liked the game under and didn't get no empty net goals, so we end up getting it under. That's why I kind of like it under again, too, because I said that time, and I'll say it again. I think it's going to be a little bit of playoff hockey. There's a huge difference here, though, because Carolina is on that back-to-back, playing the third game in 4 nights, although Tampa Bay is in the same situation. They're in the third game in 4 nights as well, and in a situation where we very, very seldom ever play out, maybe once a year, and actually I should never do it. Tampa Bay home off of 4 games on the road. If it's a couple of games, I don't mind, but 4 home games, they've came home, they've had shit to do, like they even though they're all making millions of dollars, they still have to live their lives, see their kids' wives, pay bills, whatever. And I've always said this, I've said that on this show for 3 years. Don't like that long road trip first home game. So to me, geez, this is just a super bad spot for both clubs. I like Carmine's little thing about Tampa Bay with the 10-0-1 or just losing to the Rangers. That's good. But again, it's that spot for Tampa Bay. And again, do you really want to step in Carolina? It looks like they've learned how to score some goals now. That was their problem. Now they're just starting to dominate teams. They looked dominating last night. And I said in my write-up about that is that what happens is they'd lost 3 games to Washington. And I'm sure Brendan Moore went into that locker room and said stuff that most of you guys don't even hear to these players. And it got them so motivated for that game. Not sure where the motivation comes here for Carolina tonight, right? But again, Tampa Bay, it's that spot. So for us, to me, you know what? And I've said this on here many a times. I don't play those draws. I am in the offseason. I'm going to look into seeing if it might be worth it to start putting a little bit of a bankroll on draws, like putting on 3 or 4 draws a game, because you get a lot of ties in this league now because they're so close. So if you play draws, this might be a good draw game. As far as the total, the under 9-1 last 10 in Tampa Bay. Just to let you guys know. I mean, I know it's a lot of games. I know it's a past. Past is past, but just thought I'd throw that out there. And we've had a recent pass. It was 3-2 last week. So I went with the under last week. No reason to not think that I should go with the under here.
All right, so a little bit of disagreement, but a little bit of agreement on some things. It's always a little bit up and down, but I like the numbers there. I like the breakdown. Carm, anything to follow up there?
No, I'm hoping.
Look at him.
I'm hoping. Listen,
I see him.
I'm hoping to cash. I'm hoping to cash my bet. Last night, I said to my wife, "It's Tuesday tomorrow. Buster's on. He normally disagrees. I think the over/under is about 4 times that he disagrees with either Andrew and I, and we're at 3. I think 3 right now. So a couple more disagreements, and I cashed that wager. So I'm hoping to cash that one. But to your point, Andrew, Buster, yeah, that returning home, we talk about it all year. First back off a 4-game or longer road trip, and I'll look to fade teams. Listen, if you guys were in Vegas for that puck time WagerTalk meet and greet, there was a guy walking around. God, I'm so sorry because I forgot his name. Wearing the Rangers Zibanejad jersey, and he got mad at me because I took the Islanders to beat the Rangers, and that was that 2-1 game I talked about where Sorokin won the goaltending duel. But I told a few people there, take the Rangers in Tampa at huge plus money. I think they were plus 175, and it was part of my 6 and 60 while I was in Vegas that I shot that game played on the Saturday because it was a bad spot for the Tampa Bay. Their sixth game. They just came off 6 games in 11 nights on the road with a ton of travel. Come home and for 1 game at home, and they lose to the Rangers in that game. I think it was 2-1 final. Rangers were a huge plus money one. Those first games back are extremely tough ones. I think this Tampa Bay team, though, have only had twice where they've come home off a 4-game or longer road trip, and they're 1-1. They won their first one against the LA Kings, and they lost that one to the Rangers. So I think those are the only 2 scenarios for that one. But Buster, I do agree with you. That first game back is always a tough one to win.
I think it'd be funny if the 3 of us did a radio show together, because we'd be still talking, and then the commercials would be playing. We'd be through all the advertisements, and the 3 of us would be arguing during the commercials in the studio. We'd be still going at each other, cashing over/under tickets on our disagreements. And Carm, we don't even want to know what you win if you cash that ticket. All right, we can save that for when the show isn't on live. But I think that ticket's probably going to cash. We have one more game we're going to discuss: Colorado and Calgary. And guys, these 2 teams both have played twice recently. One of them was 3-0 Colorado. One of them was 4-3 for Calgary. Total 6.5 here. We got minus 120 at home for Calgary, plus 100 for the Avalanche. And, guys, I really look at this one. And for some reason, when I started looking at this game and breaking it down, I'm curious what your thoughts here, Buster. I really said to myself, this is one of those games where I want to see how much of a real deal the Calgary Flames are. I think I know how real the Colorado Avalanche are, despite there being some injuries with that team. And I believe there's no Landeskog tonight, but I know what they're capable of. I know the depth that they have. They've got so many puck-moving defensemen. But Calgary, the amount of goals they put up, fresh off scoring 9 goals against the Edmonton Oilers, they make scoring look easy, Buster, and they do it consistently. What are your thoughts here on this game?
Well, I'm kind of with you to see what Calgary's made of, because in this game, I'm surprised that Calgary's favored. I know they're home, but we already gave out Colorado. Actually, Colorado's my favorite play of the night. They went into Minnesota, dominated and lost. That's always like a mental thing for a team when they walk off that ice and they know that they should have won that game. So I think they're going to have a great mindset coming to Calgary to try to prove to that Calgary Flames team, hey, you guys might be good, but you're not there yet. And these 2 clubs are very well, you never know, but the way things are setting up, they won't see each other until probably to the final of the West Conference if they make it through. Truthfully, I don't think Calgary will, but yeah, really like Colorado here tonight. And again, for Calgary, they're playing that. I believe it's their 3rd night game in 4 nights, and we've been using that, and it's been working since they really jammed this schedule up because of COVID. That 3rd and 4th game. Again, I don't have all the stats, but the games that we've picked out, because some of them are probably big favorites, so I just leave those alone. But the games that we picked out, like last night with Carolina, they've been pretty good. Also, you mentioned about Calgary scoring all those goals, Andrew. Sometimes when they do that, now that was a big game. Now of course, there's no guys are going to say when I say there's a letdown. I'm not saying a total letdown, but remember we're Canadian. We understand. It's the Battle of Alberta, Saturday night, hockey night in Canada, and they destroy their rival. They make it like a pond hockey game. They could have scored 15, right? So now I know they're playing Colorado. Maybe they don't even care as much, only because, again, they might see them later down the road. Colorado's 10 points ahead of them, 12 points ahead of them. I'm not saying it's going to be a total letdown, but that might creep in. And Colorado, mentally, to me, they're going to want this one more because they've lost 2 of their last 3 games. And because of what happened in Minnesota on Sunday. So, and also, Colorado's kind of owned this Calgary club. There's 7 wins, 2 losses last 9 games. So all those things puts me on Colorado today. As far as the total, 6.5. Tough total. I kind of like it under, but I really don't want no part of the total. The under's 3-0-1 the last 4 in Calgary. The last game, Colorado showed Calgary, beat them 3-0. And another thing with Colorado, their defense has been really good lately, like really good. So after them scoring all those goals, I think you mentioned it, Andrew, before about a team scoring so many goals there. Maybe they scored too many on Saturday night. I kind of like it under, but I'm not going to touch a total. Colorado is my favorite play of the night.
Awesome stuff. Lots of confidence there with the Colorado Avalanche. And hey, it's not very often you can get them at plus 100 against anybody in the league, Carm. Going to be a great game here between these 2 teams. Buster makes a great point about that Battle of Alberta. Anybody from Canada that watched hockey, we know about that rivalry. And, they put up 9 goals against their rivals. Now they play the Colorado Avalanche. What are your thoughts here, Carm?
Yeah, my thoughts almost mirror what I thought about the Toronto and Boston game. These are 2 teams that while the Toronto-Boston one is 2 teams that could possibly meet in the first round. This is one of those ones where these are 2 teams that could meet in the Western Conference Finals at the rate they're going right now. 2 teams playing extremely well. Both games that they played thus far have been in Colorado. And Markstrom didn't start either one of those games. They started Vladar in those games, and they could have easily started Markstrom in. And you always wonder with Sutter if there's a little bit gamesmanship or if he's thinking of the playoffs and not giving up too much. We should see Markstrom in goal tonight at home. If this total was at 6, Andrew, and I might wait to bet this game. Might wait to bet this in game. So I'm starting to lose my voice. So mixing my words because I want a 6. If I can get a 6, I'm going to bet the over in this game. I think we see some goals. Markstrom's been great all year. A little shaky the last month or so since the 24th of February. He's played like 12 games. He's allowed 3 or more goals in half of those games. You saw in 2 of his last 3 games, he allowed 5 goals against Edmonton, albeit a 9-5 win. He allowed 4 goals 2 games prior to that one as well too. So they're winning games because Calgary is also scoring goals. So I think we're going to see some goals tonight. These are 2 teams, I think, along the same lines of you want to send a message to the other team. Colorado's atop the West. They're atop the league. They're a very good team that can score, and they can score goals on the road. At 6.5, I don't like it. So I'll wait. I hope that not to get any goals in the first 2-3 minutes of the game, and then jump on that 6 minus 120-ish that you'll see pop up on live betting. And that's how I'm going to approach it. I'm not going to take a side in this game. These 2 teams split those 2 games in Colorado. I'm not going to take a side because the line tells you how even this game is. The bookmakers are telling you. If you put a gun to my head and you told me I need a side, I would take the Calgary Flames at home, laying a very short price. They're a very good team at home. We've seen it all season long. And if the Avs have any weakness whatsoever, it's on the road. And we saw that earlier in the season as well too. So I'm going to lean to the over in this one, guys.
Awesome, Carmen. Like you mentioned, it's one of those games where you definitely want to shop around. If you like the under, watch out for those 6.5s. If you like the over, like Carmine said, make sure you're locking in that over 6. Always shop around, use the WagerTalk live odds form there, and make sure you're getting the best possible number that you can. All right, guys, that's the 4 games. Let's jump into some best bets here, some promotional stuff. It is a great day of NHL hockey. So many games other than the 4 games we already discussed, but I'm sure we have some best bets lined up for you. And we'll start off with Don Buster with his best bet and also what he has up for his clients for tonight. Don Buster, over to you.
Thank you, Andrew. As Carmine had already said, over at Sports Memo, we've been doing that 3 cappers for $5. I suggest you go over, grab that for $5, get 3 cappers, see how these guys do. Price is right. So check those guys out. As Carmine said, there's a couple NBA games and somebody with a NHL hockey game. I believe it's Kevin Thomas. So head on over there. And while you're there, you could grab my college basketball best bet for tonight for $12. So as far as what I got for the show, I know there's going to be a lot of disappointed people here because tonight there is no first period puck line play. And I know a lot of people think I just, kind of pick these out, but no, I actually have a system for these plays and not one. Usually there's a couple and I have to sometimes decide depending on the line, depending on what I think, depending on scheduling. Couldn't find one. And it's a big card. Could not find one that fit my criteria. So I'm going to go with Colorado minus even money, minus 105 as my best bet for the show. And like I had said earlier in my when we talked about it, it's my favorite play of the night.
Colorado money line minus 105. Always fun having you on the show. It's good to see you, Buster. And I hope to see you next time in Vegas. And you're right. What you said to me is true. It does take a toll on you. And the time change doesn't affect you when you get there. It affects you when you get home and maybe the hangovers and that kind of stuff as well. I hope to see you the next time, though. Always a good time seeing you on the show. Carm, over to you. Best bet. What you have up for grabs off that 5% winner, both of you and Buster with Carolina. What are you going to follow it up with tonight?
Yeah, if you picked up that 5% play, check your emails because our customer service is sending you guys a great deal shortly. 3 plays up in NHL tonight, 2 plays in afternoon soccer. You can grab a 1-day all access for $39 and get all those plays. I'm going to mention before I get into my best bet on today's show, I'm going to mention when I was talking about goalies, one game I really liked and that will make my card if I see the right goaltending is the New York Islanders game. I want Sorokin in goal. The problem is that he got pulled in the last game due to an upper body injury. He took a couple pucks to the head, believe it or not. I don't want Varlamov in goal for the Islanders. They're a completely different team. So if it's Sorokin in goal tonight, you can pretty much assume, or you'll know it's going to be on my card, my betting card. If it's Varlamov, I'm staying off that game completely. With that said, my best bet, I'm going to go back to the game that we discussed almost at the top of the show, the Toronto and Boston game. I'm going to take the plus money with the Leafs. You know how painful it is for me to ever take the Toronto Maple Leafs. And I'm taking them at plus money here. I think we're going to see not a playoff type game, but we're going to see a game where each team sends a message, or I think we're going to see a physical game. I think we're going to see some penalties in this game. And I think we're going to see some scoring in this game. And with that said, I'm going to go with the team with the better offense and the better secondary scoring, and that's the Toronto Maple Leafs. So I'm going to take the Leafs at plus 120 as your show best bet, Andrew.
All right, Maple Leafs on the money line for the show power play here today on Puck Time. Great to have you back in the co-host chair, Carm. I'm sure everybody feels the exact same as me. Guys, tonight I have a 5% play up at WagerTalk.com. Super excited about this play. In the month of March, I've hit 68% of my NHL wagers, up over 100% return on the season, and we're 13-3 last 16, 5% plays in the NHL. Very selective with these plays, and feel like I found a great spot tonight to look for. So grab that over at WagerTalk.com. We'll have a nice promo inside there as well you can grab, and of course, full written analysis on that play. So don't miss it. And my show, Power Play, guys, we're going back to the first game we discussed, the Rapid Revenge game here. And as Buster says, I don't want to lay minus 170. Give me the regulation price here. Plus 100 on the Pittsburgh Penguins. I believe they get it done. I love the way they bounce back. I know it's only Detroit, but they scored 11 goals. They've got a lot of great leaders on that team, and I feel like they're going to be up for the task tonight against the Rangers. In regulation, Pittsburgh plus 100. Carmine Bianco with Toronto on the money line plus 120. And Don Buster, Colorado on the money line minus 105. On behalf of Carmine, on behalf of Buster, I'm Andrew, and I will see you guys tomorrow.
Tuesdays is known as $2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, where you can get the hottest handicappers, best bet, or daily package for only $2.